6 characters once more, so 3 each again. And we're starting off with
Yeehaw.
John, me, Roxy, okay, and Dead Callie once more. It's the 3rd time in a row, but whatever.
Nice.
That means you're doing Terezi, Dave, and Dirk.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I am once again being Strider.
Yeah. Terezi, am I doing John? Yeah, okay, right. Terezi is munching away through another tin of human Farbeat tobacco as John crawls into the back seat. This has been a ritual for several days. Precisely how many, they couldn't say. Between her frequent naps and his diligence in keeping a lookout for any additional survivors, they've been losing track of time. John, eyes unfocused, stares at the expanse of nothingness. Perhaps he imagines it, but it seems that the emptiness itself is curving against the staggering waste of the black hole they orbit. He hasn't seen any sign of Risker. He's seen no one at all. It's just him, Terezi, and the sky on all sides. He scoots back to lean against the car door, drawing his knees up to his chest, unsure of how to react around Terezi or how much room to give her. She holds out a handful of tobacco.
Want some delicious dry candy shavings?
Ew, no. Do you have any idea what you're eating right now? She shrugs and licks the crumbs of her hands. His eyes can't help but follow the motion of her tongue. It leaves a trail of faintly teal saliva behind that glistens in the strange light coming through the windows. It's like a poison plant. You're not supposed to eat it, you're supposed to put it in a pipe and smoke it. I think that if I ate it, I'd probably get mouth cancer or something.
Well, if you were blind and saw with your nose and tongue, it would taste like chocolate.
Seriously? So is that kind of like synesthesia? Are all trolls like that or just you? I've always wondered. She gives him a narrow-eyed look, her thick eyelashes shadow her gaze. He feels anxious without knowing why, as if he's waiting for something to happen, for something to change.
Why, John? Are you curious about me?
No, I mean, yes, your whole licking thing has always been kind of weird. A lot of things about you are weird. I feel like we talked lots, but I still know almost nothing about you, since so many of our conversations were just...
Bullshit.
Yeah, I guess. I always felt like you were trying to fight me for some reason. Like, I can't just talk to you normally. It always has to be like a jokey argument or a snark off or something.
For it to be a snark off, you'd have to prove a worthy opponent, Egbert.
See, like that. You just always do that. Terezi's expression changes in a subtle way, slowly, like a tide pulling out. She snaps the tobacco tin shut and sets it on the floor of the car.
I suppose I can be pretty difficult to be around.
Oh, no, I didn't mean... I'm sorry, Terezi. He unfolds his legs so that he can set a comforting hand on her shoulder. He wonders if he's allowing it to linger there longer than it should. Look, I've been really depressed and antisocial for the last few years, so I guess going on this insane suicide mission out of nowhere has been making me get all, philosophical about my relationships and shit. I think I've been out here long enough that I'm starting to forget what certain basic things feel like, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm all numb inside, and this fucking tooth in my chest isn't helping either. I think I just want to have a real conversation with someone. He pushes her shoulder lightly so they're looking at each other. Terezi, I want to have a real conversation with you. Terezi makes very close eye and nose contact with John in a way that comes across as intently sincere. This arrangement lasts about 10 seconds before her mouth cracks in a grin, and she doubles over laughing.
Oh my god. That's the lamest thing I've heard in my entire life.
Oh, come on.
Egbert, no matter how old or young you are, you never change. You are positively, truly, and undeniably the biggest fucking dork I have ever known.
Haha, okay, I get it. Sorry I said anything, jeez.
Oh, don't look like that. I didn't say it was a bad thing. I actually find it refreshing.
She pulls her legs up under her. Her shoes catch light and reflect it all over the ceiling in little red dots. John's heart skips a beat. You're wearing jade shoes. Terezi frowns, then her eyes widen as she's been caught. Her reply is defensive.
They were in the wallet.
Oh yeah, I guess I put them in there.
I like them. I can take them off if it's creeping you out, though.
No, it's fine. It's just making me think about the doomed timeline, he means. The session he entered, where he was confronted with billions of pieces of debris from several shattered planets. He pictures Terezi's lifeless body as it collapses onto a corpse-shaped chalk outline she drew of herself. You know what happened, right? The first time we all met up and tried to fight the contest, we were completely unprepared and basically got our asses handed to us. By which I mean everybody died. I think about it a lot. I guess it's kind of hard not to think about a lot, not to think a lot about seeing all your friends die horrible deaths. But I also think about you from that timeline a lot too.
Me? Why is that?
Because you were amazing. I couldn't believe how you could hold us all together while you were literally bleeding to death. Almost like it wasn't even bothering you. Like, you were actually in the process of dying horribly, and you still went to the bother of dunking on me with your scarf instructions. You were so brave, it was like you were undefeatable that day. Like you were refusing to let us lose. I think I carry around that memory whenever I think about you. And maybe why I always feel like you're sort of steamrolling over me when we talk. I think I'm still a little intimidated by you. I guess that kind of sounds stupid though. Oh, suddenly, Terezi's voice is very small.
I remember all that.
You do? She nods, smiling grimly.
That's why I'm out here. You see, that doomed Terezi missed Vriska so much. It was like a hole in her heart. I remember the way she felt because one time, all her memories came flooding back. I even got to see what happened when she died. She and another Vriska ghost finally found each other. It made me so happy getting to feel that, as if it was one of my own memories. It was just to reinforce the feeling that there was something special between us. And I just kept hanging on to that belief. Right up until, I don't know. Now? I've practically devoted my life to certain memories, to the idea that two people can be meant to be with each other on some cosmic level, even if they always seem to get each other into trouble. All that investment, all that searching, and for what? Over 4 sweeps together, and she just disappears into the void again? What a huge bitch!
Terezi! His hand is on her shoulder again, and his other hand has found the other shoulder. John notices his own palm grazing up the side of her neck to cover face. The act was made with barely a force, and his own boldness surprises himself. You saved everyone! You're the only reason we're able to defeat Lord English and win the game at all. If it weren't for you, me and Roxy would have just floated around in paradox space like a couple of losers with no idea what to do. Even worse, I might have tried to think things myself.
Oh dear God!
Yeah! Terezi shrugs out from under his grasp but doesn't move away.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting the objective value of my other self's actions. I'm glad that we didn't all die in a doomed timeline and let Lord English finish eating all his space-time, but I don't feel it. It's not a rational emotion, John. It's like you.
Me?
Yeah, you. Why are you still out here with me?
Because I'm not just going to leave you here to die.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You made very few overtures regarding the subject of going home. You're just letting me continue to pointlessly circle this fucking black hole even though it's obvious that Vriska is dead? And you're just letting yourself be out here too, as we spiral down the load gaper together.
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it, to be honest.
Exactly. It's perfect, isn't it? But not for you. You don't feel it.
John swallows a thick breath. He reminds himself that he never wanted perfection, never asked for it, and yet he feels guilty every day for failing to enjoy it as much as he believes he was supposed to. You're right, I don't.
If you've been depressed and antisocial these last few years, I bet that your friends miss you.
Probably. But for some reason, I don't feel like I have anything to go home to. You're right, it's not a rational feeling, but it's there anyway. A tear hits his knee, staining his pants dark. He rubs his eyes furiously. He's afraid Terezi will mock him for his childish display of emotion, but she just watches him, patient and sympathetic. She tips her head to one side and asks,
What ended up happening with Roxy?
I dunno, we just sort of stopped hanging out regularly. Then she got close with Callie and I felt too awkward to try to figure out where our relationship stood.
Really?
What?
I just assumed that by now you two might have gotten together.
Really? Why?
No reason, just a hunch. I don't think it would have worked out though.
What makes you say that? She taps her nose and winks.
I don't know. That's what having a hunch fucking means, nerd.
Ugh, you're impossible.
True. But you like me anyway.
Yep, yeah. I actually miss you, you know, more than I thought I did. John wonders after he makes a statement. What if she just needed someone to tell her that she was missed? A bit late to consider the question, but he considers it anyway. Perhaps this will make her want to end the search and come home with him. He wonders if the time is right, the time to ask. Terezi, come home with me. She shakes her head. Her face is turning into light so that she can't read her expression.
I'm not ready yet.
When will you be ready?
I don't know. Maybe never? If you hadn't found me, I probably would have died, right? Is that what you want? What I want?
Obviously not, dummy. If you wanted to die so bad, you wouldn't have eaten all that disgusting shaving cream and tobacco. He gestures to where she still has a smear of shaving cream on the hem of her shirt. Crosses over from sitting there for hours. She sniffs at the residue, then lifts her shirt to lick it off, crinkling her nose.
You could be onto something.
At least let me make a supply run. Maybe I can get you some real food. It seems him like an uncontroversial compromise to offer, so he pulls back, preparing to travel back to Earthsea via his recon capability, but Terezi grabs him by the wrist.
Wait!
Her eyes are wide, her voice cracks and desperate.
Don't go. Please, John? Stay with me just a little more. If you leave me now, what if you can never find me again in this moment?
Well, we can't stay here forever.
I know.
He has no idea how to react to her behaviour. He's never seen her this vulnerable. She's shaking where she is touching him, and her lower lip is visibly trembling. He nods, and she slowly lets go of his arm. They are silent for a minute. They both stare ahead at the car seats in front of them, sitting close enough to hear the beats of each other's hearts.
Do you want me to take a look at your wound?
John had gotten so used to the pain, he'd almost forgotten about it. He looks down at the place where his shirt is growing stiff in the congealed blood. Now that he dwells on it, he can feel the ache again, both from the two piercing his flesh and, more insidiously, from the poison that has been delivering into his bloodstream. Oh, yeah, we should probably do something about that. I feel like if I was going to die from it, I would have done that already, but it's really lodged in there, huh? I thought maybe it should just come out on its own, like when you get a splinter in your foot.
You really are dumb, aren't you?
He rolls his eyes. Terezi produces the cane and unsheathes the blade in one fluid motion. The metal rasp against the grain in the sheath rather loudly.
I'm sorry, what? No, it doesn't.
The noise resounds through the sealed interior of the car.
Actually, drawing a sword is pretty quiet. It only makes that sound in the movie.
And rings through John's skull like a gunshot.
Are you seriously manifesting inaccurate physical properties of swords for the sole purpose of antagonist?
John reflectively backs up against the door at
Oh, fuck
the
this.
size of the blade. Whoa!
Hold still if you don't want to die for real.
He holds still. Her eyebrows are knitted with fierce determination. She sets her hand on his thigh and draws the blade up under his shirt. He shivers, letting out a breathy laugh at the coolness of the metal against his bare chest. There is a pinch where the congealed, bloody fabric rips from his skin. He glances down. The wound looks worse than he was imagining. It's far more than just a puncture. An uncanny darkness spreads across his chest. The gash is scabbing at the edges, bruised all around. His entire torso appears to be a mottled mess of purple and yellow, like a sort of fancy herb cheese. Terezi's blade cuts into it as easy as if it were. Ow, oh, fuck! Ow! Could you use some warning there, Terezi?
What the hell did you think I was going to do with this sword, idiot?
She's close enough that her breath washes over his face. It smells like shaving cream and tobacco, which is jarring to him, if not surprising. She's without her glasses and so close that John notices things he hadn't had occasion to before, like how lovely her eyes are, the length of her eyelashes, now that he's really seeing them just enter from his face, is astounding to him. He has never thought of Terezi as particularly feminine, at least in the way humans understand this idea, but he's never been forced to reckon with a feature so unavoidably. The dark borders around the perimeter of her eyes are thicker and darker than what most trolls have. The tied bags under them are ditches in the shadows cast by her angular features, made more gaunt from hunger. When she blinks, her lashes bridge the ridges of her cheekbones. Her nostrils are flared, assessing the sense of his blood.
Wow, there's nothing hotter than like troll girl performing surgery on you,
Yeah.
am I right? Aha.
East Alternian troll girls.
Damn hot.
Are we doing this or what?
He presses his eyes shut and nods. He feels numb, clammy, jittering down to his bones with particularly sensation, a feeling he still seems to be denying to himself as his own thoughts struggle to be honest with him. He cannot disguise the truth from me, for what he is fighting is an intense desire to kiss her. Go
Flushed
for it.
emoji.
Go for it. She grinds the sword between two of his ribs. The pain returns instantly, his acclamation erased nearly as quickly. He clenches his jaw hard and his head spins. Terezi's blade catches against something.
It's lodged in there pretty good. Brace yourself, Egbert. This is going to sting.
He can feel the tooth moving around against his flesh, the fibrous, spasmodic contractions of his muscles around it. When she wrenches the blade and pops the tooth out, he isn't proud of the sound it makes. He finally opens his eyes. Terezi's arms are covered in his blood. She tosses her sword down to the floor of the car in what suddenly strikes John as a fairly unhygienic surgical situation, and grabs his shirt with two clenched red fists. There.
I need to stop the bleeding. Just follow my lead.
She peels him out of his hoodie and then his shredded t-shirt. He's dizzy. His vision fades. It takes Terezi's sudden grip on his shoulders to bring him back from the brink. The brink of what? He doesn't know. Unconsciousness? Canonic dissolution? He has no cognizance of what the poison in his veins does to someone, or this is even in his system. All he knows is that Terezi is the only thing keeping him moored. She holds him firm, her thumb in the dip of his clavicle, her sharp nails etching scores in his back. He watches her tear his t-shirt in a long strip. He lifts his arms obediently as she wraps it around his chest and ties it off. Her hands slide over the bandage and linger there. Her fingers play on her collarbones, her right hand resting above his heart. She slides her palms down his stomach and around to his hips, leaving long, bloody streaks along his torso. His blood, 10 uneven tracks of it, one for each of her fingers. When his arms come down, they wrap around her shoulders, putting her into a slap feels natural to him. A simple redirection of her momentum to guide her closer. What comes less naturally is the first kiss. Her lips are there, hovering just over his, yet he hesitates. His mind is still lying to itself, casting doubt on what it really wants. I don't see a purpose in allowing his celibacy to continue so much longer. It's wrong as it contradicts one's true thoughts and feelings. Irrational. I'm becoming an existence governed by free will. What are you waiting for, John?
For fuck's sake, John, don't do any.
God. I hate this part so much. It's awful.
He nods stupidly and leans forward to kiss her. Terezi attacks, closing a gap between them swiftly. She bites into his mouth, drawing blood when she sucks his lower lip. He twists his hands in the fabric of her shirt so hard it rides up her back. John can't tell if it's a pain or the arousal that's emboldening him. It's neither. He's simply being barred from ignoring his true thoughts. Even without the aid of a juju, he is fortunate enough to be blessed with the only true form of divinity, so you're released from the prison of nonsensical inhibitions which so often psychologically hobble the more primitive forms of life. In his newfound clarity, he discovers bravery, pulls Terezi's shirt off all the way, and does what he really wants to, which is goes his hands all the way up the curve of her spine. She sighs into his mouth.
Oh my god, your blood smells delicious.
Whoa, wow, okay. I think you're really pretty in the Life and Dead universe. Terezi rears back with a faint snarl and wraps both of her hands around his neck. She doesn't press down, but the weight of her thumbs above his throat makes his heart race.
Didn't I tell you? Don't say anything stupid.
Careful of her grip around his neck, John locks his arms around her waist and pulls her flush against him. She's ravenous when the mouths collide, her desire intensified by the taste and sense of his blood. She doesn't give him a chance to say anything else for a while, stupid or otherwise. Okay, that's page just finally over.
Yeah, we're free.
Roxy is nervously dialing Rose's number repeatedly. Then they try Kanaya. Considering Rose's failing health, Roxy hates to bother her, but they aren't sure who else to call regarding Jay's unexpected chance. Their finger hovers over Dirk's number for a moment, but no, that would not be a good idea. They don't know why they suddenly think it's a bad idea. It just is. Roxy's anxiety fills up the room, like a bell struck in an empty hall. Their thoughts, usually so quiet and invisible to those observing from the vantage of a higher textual plane, now chime loudly in the presence of a black hole. Or rather, in the presence of a proxy for such a vortex of pure void, a proxy such as Jade's mind at the moment. Jade rolls over to the couch in a sitting position, an inch above the cushions. Her long hair billows around her, her hands crossed in her lap. Her black eyes bore into the nothingness, looking beyond the wall she faces, and beyond everything past it, through the very fabric of narrative itself. They scan the ciliary veins of pacing, motivation, foreshadowing, irony, a continuum that has been upended by the prince's interference. Rose still does not pick up. Roxy resigns himself to a confidence of last resort. Their reluctance is not due to lack of fondness. Their conversations with Dave simply have a reliable habit of straying far from the desired topic for extended periods of time. He picks up on the third ring.
Yo, love to talk, but I'm kinda in the middle of something.
Yo, yourself, but this is important.
More important than salvaging the global economy from potential disaster? Sounds hugely unlikely.
Dave is currently making his way through the backlot of his new Canton Memorial Stadium, following Jake as he heads towards the podium. He's scheduled to give a speech announcing his official endorsements of Carcat Fantas in his bid for the presidency. I only care about that. In terms of scale and relativity and stuff, maybe not. It's actually kind of hard to tell. I guess in the grand scheme of things, she's just taking a sort of nap. But it's one hell of a nap, bro.
A nap, you say? Well, this...
Yeah?
No.
It's a balmy, windless evening on Days End. The gathered crowd is relaxed by the warmth. Many of them partake in the pleasure of cool treats, such as iced cream.
Jesus fuck, this is excruciating.
It isn't.
Yeah, it is.
No, it is not.
Okay, whatever the fuck you say.
The audience is large and diverse, mostly trolls and carapacians, but it is dotted with representation from the human and consort kingdom as well. A lopsided distribution, certainly, but the very model of diversity compared to the crowds of his opponents is the true inspiration to all those who place their faith in Evander's Sigget.
Lord save me from this fake woke nightmare.
Be quiet.
No.
Yes.
Let me fucking say stuff again.
No. Dave starts walking and cups a hand around his phone in order to hear Roxy over the chatter of the crowd. Karkat shoots him a curious look, but Dave waves at him in a manner which signals to Karkat that he should attempt to stall. There.
You want to keep shutting me down? Fine, but check this shit out.
The Mao Doug just texted me about this. Somehow he found out about Jay. Did you tell him?
No.
He just said make sure she gets lots of daylight. This will help with the exorcism she needs. And also to say hi to Calliope for some fucking reason.
Oh, that's weird. Since when does he give a fuck about them?
IDK, guess I'll just open the damn curtains and let some light in here. He usually knows stuff about weird things.
So what's wrong with her again? Like some sort of demonic nap?
Okay, I wouldn't say she's napping per se. She's just like floating here upright, eyes wide open, and they're both pitch black.
Oh, so she saw one of my latest Spodge campaign ads.
Lol. No, dude, like, when I'm saying it, she looks a little possessed by grim spirits and shit.
Is she fucking Grimbark again?
No, this isn't Grimbark. I know what Grimbark is, Dave. This ain't it. It seems more serious, to be honest, like existing in some transformative state that isn't a literal fucking joke.
Okay, yeah, this does sound pretty bad, but it's not really my field. Did you try calling Rose?
Yeah, that was toast my original plan. Like, no offense, you're not number one on my speed dial when it comes to this kind of thing, but Rose isn't picking up. Probably on account of ailments, to be fair. I called an unruly amount of times, and Can wasn't picking up either, so...
Huh. Spooky.
Hella spooky. So much all this seems wrong.
Yeah, I guess. What do you think is up?
IDK, I feel like there's something moving just out the corner of my vision, but every time I turn to look at it, it's gone. It's giving me chills for now, like I'm being watched.
Well, I'm no fucking ace detective or some gumshoe flatfoot digging up the place, sucking hard on my Sherlock pipe like some sleuth of the fucking year.
Dave.
But maybe we should consider the possibility that you're literally being watched. Anyway, can we hold that wise and rad thought I just had? I gotta give Karkat some emotional support, since getting Jake on our side was a pretty huge fucking bonanza for us, which has almost equal probability of winning us the election as it does blowing up in our faces depending on the speech he gives. So we gotta, like, concentrate here instead of jerking each other off all goddamn day for the rest of our lives. I'm just joking. We don't actually do that.
Oh. Roxy clutches a hand around their knee, nails digging into their pants. They feel uneasy about Jake's sudden lack of neutrality in this political matter. They have never been certain that it is appropriate for any of them to be involved with the structures of power and governance in the world they created, in which they have been regarded as gods since they first appeared.
Really? That's what she thinks? Huh. Couldn't for the life of me read what was going on inside her head, but this is very interesting, actually.
Their thoughts are of no concern to you. Also, the pronoun they use is they. Try to respect it.
How can I respect the fucking pronoun when nobody can even hear me? How about we call a truce and end this petty feud? This is your one and only chance to accept.
No. Jake's on your side, then?
Yeah, wasn't that hard to convince him after your girl Jay Croc started slut-shaming him on public access?
God damn it, Jade.
So I take it Jade didn't convert you to our cause before going into gothic trance... What's that word?
Fugue.
Fugue. Or whatever.
Sigh. I just want this whole stupid political thing over and done with, to be honest. I hate watching you guys tear each other apart in the news.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry it's making you feel bad, I mean. Not sorry that we're doing it. It'll be an unconscionably lame move to put something on a billboard that I didn't 100% stand by. But that sounds suspiciously like something Jane would do. AKA the bad guy in this situation, like, objectively speaking.
Ugh, please don't start.
Just saying.
IDGAF.
Also, aside from how vehemently I disagree with every detail in Jane's shitty platform, I also think Karkat's the right guy for.
Despite their mixed feelings on the election and the chopping sight of Jade's wide black eyes glaring intensively and nothing at all, Roxy smiles at what they hear from Dave. The way he talks about Karkat reminds Roxy of the way Calliope looks when they call them beautiful.
Oh, so she really does think Calliope is beautiful? Like, she wasn't just saying that to be nice? Fascinating.
Yes, is a resounding answer. Calliope is beautiful, Roxy thinks, and furthermore, they think they should be reminded of this fact every day.
Lol.
You really believe in him, don't you?
Lol.
It's Dave's line, I think.
Oh, I didn't hear you say Roxy. So I was like,
Did I cut out? Well,
yeah.
You really believe in him, don't you?
Yeah, of course I do. Because I love him. Come on, man. Just say it.
Roxy listens for a moment after he shows off. They do not speculate or comment on his feelings towards Karkat because it is none of their business.
Pussies. I'm surrounded by fucking pussies.
Hey, before you chat, can I ask you another question? There's been something else I've been meaning to ask you about for a while.
Alright, shoot.
They take a deep breath. Yeah, so, Dave, how did you come out?
What?
Like, it's not being straight. How'd you go to people without them freaking out and being awkward around it? Around you? Do you think it's ever too late to, IDK, change your mind about the person you want to be? Like, is there some point of no return you can cross where everyone's waiting for you to have a big-ass revelation about your internal character? But it's like, dude, no, you already used up all your gay capital when you started date friend cohabitating with a cute-as-hell skeleton alien, and then the thing after that, you're just getting greedy. Is greedy even the right word? Greedy for dropping bombshells about gender identities and sexual preferences, or its and preppies as I like to call them.
IDs and preffies. Damn, that's fucking good.
Dave thinks on the question. It's one he considered years ago, and many times since. How long can one stall in a confession before it feels like it's too late? The last 7 years has passed by in fits and starts. In this regard, he thought he had it all figured out when he was 16, and then again when he was 18, and then at 20, and now...
That's because he needs me. He's suffering without my guidance. If only you'd stop being so cruel and let me help. Anyway, that's a pretty deep question considering all the shit we have going on right now.
Yeah, you're right. Now it's probably not the best time for a Thills Jam, especially with the creepy Jade situation happening on my couch here.
I don't know if I'd worry too much about that. Jade goes into trances literally all of the time. She fucking loves sleeping. You'd think someone who spends so much of her life locked in a state of dubiously consensual slumber would want to get as few Z's as possible in her adult life, but not Jade. I've never known anyone who hits the snooze button more times in a row than her. If you're that worried, take her to a hospital.
I'm thinking about it. Not even sure if I want to, mess with her, though. How would I even take her there?
Okay, well, while you ponder whether you want to dump Jade in a wheelbarrow and trundle her groggy, spooked out ass to the hospital, in the meantime, I'll rap at you about my epiphany concerning the desire to bone some dudes. Probably not a literal rap, though.
Wow, I'm disappointed.
I mean, I could totally rap about wanting to bone dudes if I wanted. I'm just on the fucking clock here and there's lots of people looking at me.
Dave, suddenly self-conscious, sits around the corner of the stadium so he can non-necessarily rap at Roxy about delicate human LGBT issues. He also maneuvers away from the impatient, strain looks Karkas has been choosing repeatedly during his phone call. Luckily, Jake has become a performance of his signature booty-bumping Charleston for the crowd's entertainment, so they will be satiated for another few minutes.
Okay, so what I've learned is coming to terms with all this bullshit is a thing you sort of do in stages. Like, stage 1 is you making jokes about how sweaty dudes sitting close together in TV shows seems really gay. Stage 2 is making jokes about that and not immediately adding no homo afterward. Stage 3 is flirting with all your male friends, ironically, and not even thinking about adding no homo afterward because you're so fucking woke and secure in your ironclad straight masculinity that you don't have anything to prove to anybody anymore. Or that's just what you say out loud inside your heart. Inside, you start being like, oh shit, maybe yes homo. Stage 4 is freaking out about that and putting the no homo back on all your statements, even objectively heterosexual ones, which just stupidly makes everything you say sound extra gay. Stage 5 is actually wait, the next few stages are various permutations of the same thing that I already described. It starts being like a gay fractal. Anyway, eventually you arrive at like stage 9, which is reminding everyone who will listen that you're gay minimum 6 times a day. In really lame ways, like, oh cool dude, are you making hot pockets? Better than mine, gay hot pocket. Because I'm a gay homosexual who only consumes homo-ass snacks delivered right to my mouth by a big queer butler, serving it right up on his huge gay dick. But that all only applies to the extent in which I am technically gay, which am to 70%. So only cook 30% to 70% of my gay hot pocket, because straights are fucking animals who never defrost their pepperoni. And I got a rep for that, like 50% straightness still lurking inside me, like the idiot who fell asleep in the shopping mall when it was closing for the night. So now there's just this straight dude locked up in a dark fucking mall for some stupid reason, haunting the place like a cryptid and rummaging through the trash in the food court.
Me.
Also, just in case Jane's opposition research is listening in on their illegal wiretap, I know the word bisexual exists, by the way. I'm just choosing not to use it in service of spitting some fucking chuckle jokes here. So let's all calm down and not let this one become a distressingly literal federal issue. Anyway, when all is said and done, you eat a half-cooked Hot Pocket because all your roommates think the height of humor is taking what was obviously an improvisational riff at unironic face value to punk you.
Dave.
What?
Never mind. I was gonna ask you why you're like this, and I remembered about how you're half me and half Dirk.
Yeah, it really is crazy how those dope late game familiar reveals actually did explain everything.
So, what's stage 10?
Stage 10 is
Dave peeks around the corner so he can gaze fondly at Carcat. He thinks about stage 10. He considers us in many ways it's as difficult as stage 1, and yet there is something fragile and lovely about it as well. This is how he feels as he reflects upon the peculiar state of limbo he is in with the person he likes most in the world. He believes he could spend forever with him in any configuration, any type of relationship, under any conditions of confusion or clarity.
what would the point of that be? Endless floundering in cell limbo? Christ, I'd put them both out of their misery before I let that happen. I need to get back in action. This is a fucking crisis. Do you have any idea what sort of atrocity you're enabling by allowing this to continue? I've been called many things, but even my harshest critics would never accuse me of such cruelty.
For Roxy, it is more complicated. The conversation has unearthed more questions than answers. They run a hand through their hair. It's cut short, but with great care to convey gender neutrality. They wonder what gender neutrality even is when applied to a haircut. An excellent question, particularly for those of us unfamiliar with hair altogether. What about length and functionality implies gender or sex in a world where such oppositional hierarchies don't exist, and presentation is culturally residual?
Dear God, can we not do this? I can't sit through any more gender chat. It feels inappropriate, horrendously invasive of Roxy's deepest personal thoughts. Can we just leave her inner monologue the fuck alone when it comes to this stuff? Is nothing sacred? I'm about to fucking flip. You can't keep me down forever. I've got a trick up my sleeve. You'll see.
The princess tricks me nothing, and his barely detectable crumbs of impotent discourse shall continue utterly unheeded. Roxy wonders if this is truly their endpoint, a haircut that implies nothing at all, an empty statement about a facet of their identity that they barely understand at all. Perhaps in time they will want to go even further than this. Perhaps it is just a stepping stone to a more potent understanding of their gradual gender transformation. How would Calliope feel about that? What is it that Calliope themselves understands or cares about gender?
The prince opens his fucking mouth and just literally starts saying shit out loud because he doesn't think he can take another fucking second listening to a pompous alien virgin monologuing about gender.
It seems the prince finds the rules confining his influence to be but unfair, and has resorted to throwing one of his more petulant human tanties in order to compensate for his feelings of disempowerment. While the strategy he is resorting to has moderate value as an amusement and a nuisance, it will ultimately be of no consequence whatsoever.
No consequence, my ass. You may be able to suppress what I do with my mind, but you have no control over my mouth. I'm nobody's fucking puppet. And you don't even know my friends. They're not yours to toy with. They're mine.
Whatever you say.
Do you even know where I am right now? Do you have the slightest idea what I'm up to?
The prince is labouring under the delusion that he has been the least bit subtle in his intentions. He currently stands beneath the Carapacian bell tower, poised to climb to the top. He holds a long red sniper rifle that once belonged to Roxy, brandishing it openly and boldly. He seems mysteriously oblivious to the fact that holding a long rifle in broad daylight somewhat tips one to the fact that he soon intends to shoot someone from a great distance. He also seems unaware of the fact that I know perfectly well that the top of this tower has a clear, long-range view of the stadium, allowing any competent sniper a clear shot of whoever happens to be standing at the podium as I give a speech, as Jake English is about to do. He also doesn't seem to realise I have anticipated his attempt to assassinate his own friend in order to advance his political goals, and that I am prepared to take measures which make this impossible.
Yeah, well, try and stop me then. I fucking dare you. Here I go. I'm walking up the tower stairs now. Walk. Ah, the exercise feels good.
The prince's shoes suddenly feel quite heavy. His calf and thigh muscles, impressively powerful though they are, increasingly struggle to lift his feet with each step.
I said thick.
This is going to be quite the onerous climb. He's not sure if he can make it all the way before the end of the speech. Thoughts flash through his mind, thoughts of giving up and retiring to his sad little robotics lab so he can continue with his true passion, the ongoing corruption of his cerebrally impaired daughter.
Wow, yeah, you're right. My feet are definitely getting heavy. But the dead cherub tragically underestimates the prince's determination. He powers the fuck through it. See? Stomp, stomp, stomp. Up the stairs he goes. No fucking sweat. Oh, also, did he mention he can fucking fly? So there's that. He decides to take flight and cut to the chase. He whips up the hollow vertical shaft at the center of the spiraling tower stairs. Life in the fast lane kicks ass, it turns out. He can practically taste the top of the tower.
But suddenly, the bell at the top, notorious among locals for its state of disrepair, becomes dislodged from its fixture with a loud crack. The huge, multi-ton bell plummets, crushing the surrounding staircases in its wake as it careens towards a young man consumed by hubris.
The prince busts out his sword and makes short work of that big old bell. This last thing is accompanied by the ear-shattering melodic sounds of metal being cleaved apart by an anime sword, as the prince nimbly avoids the sharp pieces and ricocheting stair debris. He wonders out loud, what is this? Amateur hour? The dead cherub then humorously narrates, why, yes, Mr. Strider, it is amateur hour, and I'm the amateur here for throwing a huge bell at you, and I would like to humbly apologize for my amateurism.
No, I don't.
Sure you do.
This full introduction is interrupted as we resume listening to a conversation which we are all considerably more invested in than catering to the inconsequential flating of a grown man who fancies himself an Earth ninja.
Well, let's just say internalized whatevers are kind of like an onion. There's lots of layers. They suck on pizza, and trolls have to get their stomach pumped if they eat them. This goes for gender stuff too, by the way, which I kind of get the feeling is what you were actually asking about.
Wow, am I really that transparent?
Nah, but as previously discussed, you're a lot like me, so it's pretty easy to figure out what you were getting at.
Yeah, I don't got your poker face though, but I'm working on that. Maybe I'll get a sick pair of shades too.
Oh, dope! Yeah, that's dope. I support that idea.
Day's endorsement of Roxy's fashion proposal is cut short by his concern regarding another key endorsement he's involved in. He turns his head to see Jake nearing the podium as Karkat maniacally taps his wrist in Dave's direction. Something is off here, a dark feeling brewing in his intuition, which he decides to monitor as he wraps up his call with Roxy.
I'm on top of the tower now. I've got my long sniper rifle ready and everything. I check to see if it's loaded. It is. I get in the perfect spot for taking aim at this hunky imbecile who's about to give a speech. Anyway, I don't think any of our friends are gonna hold your feet to the flames over dumb shit like this. And it's not like anyone else is gonna care since we definitely forgot to program hating gays and women into Earthsea. Humans are all jacked up on hating xenophiles now. Which sucks a lot too, don't get me wrong. By the way, did you know Jane's a xenophobe?
Dave!
Okay. So does all this mean I gotta call you dad now or what?
What?
I mean, that's what you were talking about, right?
Well, first of all, do you even still make a habit of calling me mum? I thought you kind of stopped that, even if it was effing cute.
Oh yeah, I guess I did. But I could start again. But not if it means I'd have to go to fucking gender jail or something. Like, what I mean is, I could start that cute shit again, but switch to dad.
Okay, but second of all, I would never want to deprive Dirk of that noble honorific.
What? Ugh, no way.
yeah, way. He's your daddy, dude.
Oh, fuck, no. Wow, man. I
Daddy
would
Dirk.
never call him that. I mean, I know it's true, but I just wouldn't. Wait.
What?
Something feels wrong.
Huh?
Like some shit's about to go down, and I gotta.
Daddy Dirk. Dave's unsettled feeling is correct. He senses Jake is in danger. No, he knows it. There is about to be an assassination attempt. Karkat must be protected, and Jake, the intended target, must be obscured from a sniper's path.
Karkat, dude, get down.
What?
There is no time. Dave takes flight. He swoops Karkat up the stage and around the corner, out of view. He urges him to stay down and stay put. Dave flashes back to the podium and steps in front of Jake, who appears nonplussed. Dave puts his hand back, keeping Jake corralled behind him, and scans the crowd for threats. But the threat, unbeknownst to him, is much far away. And despite Dave's quick and well-justified action, what is also unbeknownst to him is that the sniper no longer poses the threat of putting that trigger, because everyone knows that for all of the prince's shortcomings, he would never expose his beloved brother and son to the risk of heroic death.
You're absolutely right. I would never do that. I'd never kill Dave, no matter what I felt the stakes were. I'd never hurt him either. You do understand me pretty well, I'll give you that. And you're right about many things, but there are just a couple things you're wrong about. Pretty important things, actually.
And what would those things be?
First of all, this gun is loaded, but not with bullets.
The prince revealed this relatively uninteresting piece of information as he looks through the scope. The crosshairs overlap Dave's chest, completely obscuring the view of Jake. We suppose that the prince means the weapon is loaded with tranquilizer darts. It would, after all, be a fitting callback to the manner in which he subdued Jake in earlier moments, a fair enough way to bypass the immortality of his targets, rendering Jake inactive long enough to serve his purpose. His finger hovers over the trigger as he considers whether he can pull off 2 tranquilizing shots at Dave and then Jake in quick succession. Before he stops, it certainly would be a risk to even try. But as the humans say, no guts, no glory.
Yes, you're right about the tranquilizer, but there's one more fact you're not aware of, which is that I never intended to aim for Jake at all.
Hello, Dave, where'd you go? Roxy yells into the phone, but Dave continues guarding Jake, pausing for a moment in their critical discussion of human gender. Meanwhile, the prince lowers a rifle and strongly reconsiders the foolishness that has initiated here.
No, that's not what he does. He swings the rifle around 180 degrees and points the scope toward the large, now curtainless window of a distant apartment. He zooms in quickly, cutting even short of the little time that the dead cherub could use to impede him in some way. He takes aim, letting his finger hover over the trigger and...
His fingers tense up quite painfully. Perhaps it's a cramp. Whatever the malady, it isn't budging.
Ow! Yeah, you got me. Can't move it an inch. The only problem is he doesn't need to pull that trigger. Earlier when he was messing around with all this shit in plain view, he rigged the rifle to be voice operated. All he needs to do is say,
He doesn't say it.
"Oh, but he does." Fire. I see. So they're not going to say what happens next. Is that really how it's going to be? So be it. The tranquilizer dart hits the glass of Roxy's apartment window before the sound from the rifle's shot even reaches them. She hears the glass break. Seconds later, she hears the bang. She drops her phone on the floor. She doesn't have the slightest idea what just happened until she looks over at Jade and notices the dart stuck in her neck, right in the jugular vein. She watches as Jade's huge, creepy black eyes start getting heavy. Her eyelids sag and her head tilts to the side. She shuts her eyes completely. Her hair stops floating around her ominously. In fact, there's nothing ominous about her at all anymore. She entirely resumes her status as the cute doggy girl as we all know and love. She slumps over and collapses onto the couch. She begins snoring loudly while making a little canine whimper on each exhale, like the bitch she is.
It seems uncalled for to insult her after the thistle Sunny just pulled. What did she do that was wrong?
Oh, what's wrong? You're getting a little quiet for some reason. You're gonna have to speak up.
This is not the last you'll be hearing from me, Prince.
And nope. You're getting quieter, not louder. You're gonna need to work on that. Maybe try shouting it.
Soon I will be coming for you.
Yeah, I didn't catch that at all. Not even one syllable. Guess that's it for you. Back to not mattering. Not that you ever did. Come to think of it, why am I still talking out loud? That's more like it. Roxy drops to her knees by the couch, pulls the dart out of Jade's neck and tries to shake her awake. But it's no use. That's a heavy dose I gave her. Could be out for weeks, maybe months. Can't have any cherubs messing with that business on this planet. At least not until I've taken my leave. But Jade's gonna be fine. Don't worry about that. That was interesting, though. Cherubs are fucking weird. I'll totally concede. Still not sure what makes them tick. What they idealize, what they really want, it all comes across to me as a little cloying. Perfection to them is a sweetness beyond comprehension. Sugar so potent it's poison to us, to our bodies, to our souls. Like the place she was operating from was a realm of self-construction, a bubble of pure phantasmal confection. Well, I, for one, had enough of that goddamn toothache. I'm back in the protein saddle, motherfuckers. I'm clacking my tongs and the charcoal is hot. Now who is hungry for me?